guys, I'm Emma Leith and I'm with Love Crafts to show you how to work the C2C corner to corner in the round. We're going to be using a 6mm hook and the Simply Chunky paint box yarns. Let's get going. So we've made our foundation and we have done the first round, and so we're going to do the second round, which essentially gives us the pattern for the rest of the blanket. So we'll start again with a slip knot on my hook to bring in the new colour. So when you look at this, you can see that we've got the 5 posts here and then we've got the little 4 posts here. So we're going to find the one with 3 posts and then the chain 3 at the top. So we've got 2 of those. So we're going to come in here, join our yarn. It's just you bring it through, slip stitch, and we're in, we're joined. Give it a tug. So let's start with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Wherever there's a chain 3, we're always going to be working over it and into the space. So we're going to do 3 trebles into the space here, which is over the chain 3 there. First treble, 2 and 3. And now we need to make a chain 3 and join with a slip stitch into the same space. It's sort of scrunched up a bit, so I'm just going to pull it. There we go, give us some space. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come back into here, slip stitch, and it completes the block. There we go. So that's block number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're working downhill. So that means that the next space we're working into is in here. So our little chain 3 post space is there. So let's do a treble into here. 1, 2, it's always 3 trebles, 3, and just like we did earlier, another chain 3, join with a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. So this is the downhill pattern. And as your square gets bigger and bigger, you'll just be coming down further and further, repeating that until you get to the end. And then we're going to do, so that's our little post here. So we know we need to make another chain 6. We need to make our little block and join it here. So we're going to do chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to do this twice on every round because it's always going to be the sort of the 2 ends and then the other 2 are like these. Okay. So we're into the 4th chain from our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4 into here. Our first treble. And we're going to do 2 more trebles into the next chain. 1 here, 1 treble, and then our last treble into the first chain we made. And again, we have 3 treble posts and our chain 3 post. And we're going to join with a slip stitch into the space here. And now we're working the uphill. So with the uphill, we always start with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're working our 3 trebles back into this post here. 1, 2, and 3, which brings us neatly back to our next one here, the next block. We just join with a slip stitch into there. It all becomes quite intuitive after a while. I think by the time you've done 4 or 5 rounds, you'll be really familiar with this. So we're going to do the last bit, the last block at the top, and then you're just going to repeat what we've done, working back downhill and then uphill. So we'll just finish 1, 2, 3, 3 trebles into this post. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to finish with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, join with a slip stitch back into here, and we're good to go to start our downhill pattern, working back down into here. Okay, so we've made our squares and our triangles and our half triangles, and now we're ready to sew the whole thing together. So it looks something like this. I've made a small sample here just to show you how you do it. But the principle is you're going to have some squares that will have, in this case, 4 rows, or 5 if you count the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the ones that interlock are going to be 1 row less, and that's really important when you come to putting it all together, that you make sure that is the case, otherwise it's not going to fit. So the way we do it is, first of all, you need to turn them over because we're going to work with the wrong side facing up. That's the first thing. Now, I've done 2 half triangles just because when it all joins together, you'll see it just looks nice. But we're going to start with the 2 centerpieces here. Now, I'm deliberately showing you because you'll notice that this one feels a lot fatter and wider than this one. Actually, when we sew them, we can kind of just squidge them in and sew them together and they work fine. Now, I'm going to show you using grey yarn, just because that way then the stitches are going to show up for you and you can just see what I'm doing. It's not a science, it's a kind of a, it's just a loose, let's just do this and make it work kind of thing. So in here, it's almost like, just to begin with, I just want to tack it in place, make sure that I'm happy. So there is no science. I keep saying it because there isn't. You're gonna feel your way, the middle, here, and then pick up the stitch. So you can see this is kind of the top of the chain 3. So that's where we want to be. And because, here we go, into there, yeah? We'll sew this in a minute. I just want to, so now we've got our 2 central squares are now joined together. Now when you join your blanket, it's huge, and so you don't need to sew every stitch. What you need to do is you need to marry up the corners together. So if we look here, what we're really looking at is corner to corner, corner to corner, and then this corner into here, this one into here, yeah? So we're going to work down one side, and then you're just going to repeat all the way along. So once you've done one bit and it starts to hold together, it gets easier. So I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to just come into here. So you can see I'm leaping over because it just doesn't matter to begin with. And I want to, that's my corner. So I lay this flat. This is my corner here. So I'm just going to come here. And what I've done is, for the blanket, is I just do one in the middle somewhere. Just a kind of a general middle stitch here. So I'm not doing every single stitch. You don't need to. If you've crocheted it and it's nice and loose anyway, we don't want it to be too tight. So my top of my chain 3 acts as the corner space, which is here for the joining one. That's it. So you can see it's beginning to take shape. So again, I might come here and here, the middle. And then again, here. So the top of the chain 3 is more likely this one, and then into here. So you see, even with the grey, you can barely see your stitching, and when we turn it over, you won't see it at all. So again, just one in the middle. There we go. Corner, corner. So it's always the top of our chain 3. Let's do that and that. There we go. And again, pick up a stitch, sort of one of the middle stitches. Let's have this one and this one. I keep saying it, I'll say it again, it's not a science, you just get a feel for it. So it's nice, I want it to be loose, I don't want it to be too tight. And one final stitch here and here, joining them together. So you can kind of see where we're going. Let's speed this up now. So middle, middle. And at the top here. So it's really just tacking. But as long as you sew your ends in properly, either end, you'll be fine. It won't come undone. Okay, there we go. Et voila. So when we turn it over, that's how it looks. Easy.
Perfect. Nice. Let's do that part again. So when you turn it over, that's how it looks. And then tell them to do the same for
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to finish off here. So the way I secure it is a little knot, another little knot. This is just me. There's probably a better way of doing it. This is how I do it. Sew in my end there. Do it again. I just want to be really secure, so that's how I do it. And oh. So when we turn it over, et voila. So you can see, you can't see the stitching at all. So you're just going to repeat. You're going to do the same thing here, working down, and then just carry on until all your blanket is joined, working from the wrong side facing up. So here's our finished blanket. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this and that you've learned how to do corner to corner in the round. I designed this blanket, chose all the colours with the idea that you work it in any colour sequence that you want to, just following some basic colour rules which are in the pattern. I place the black and white, there's a rhythm to those, and just the white ones here, there's a rhythm, so that when you bring the whole thing together, there's a harmonious feel to the whole thing. I love it. I hope you love it. I hope your blanket looks as colourful as this. And thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you again.